Welcome to Peace Halifax. If you're just joining us, a special welcome. And if you've been with us already today, you will know that this is the 5th year of Peace Halifax, a gift of peace to the city of Halifax from the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center in honor of United Nations International Day of Peace, which is celebrated on the 21st of September, and we're here today on Saturday the 19th. This hour you have the special treat of spending an hour with Mara Vizzutti. Mara is an executive coach, a leadership coach, a life coach, a wonderful person, and a student with the Brahma Kumaris. She's been studying peace and how to help others become peaceful and to bring peace in a very powerful way to their world, many who are high-level leaders in organizations. So today we get Mara for a whole hour to explore inner power. So treat it a little bit like a spa time for you for 1 hour and enjoy Mara. Welcome.
Thank you, Judy, for that introduction, and welcome everyone to this Inner Peace Power Hour. Peace obviously is an experience that we all want and one we often have. And when we have it, we feel so good. We feel wonderful and we feel all is well in our world. And this is a power that we have inside of us, but sometimes we don't necessarily experience it. And it's because we're feeling stressed or because there's so many things up in the air right now, some unknowns about the future. And so this is going to be your personal peace power hour. Time for yourself to connect to this inner power of peace and to experience it. So we will do that through some questions, some visuals, some exercises for you to explore this inner power of peace that you have, and so that you can have some take-home practices that you can use on a regular basis after this hour. So you'll need a pen, some paper or notepad to participate. So I'll just give you a moment to go and find something to write with, and maybe a piece of paper if you don't have one already. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you're all set. So we're going to begin with a meditation. What better way to start a peace power hour than with a meditation? And this is what we do, as we're a meditation center. And so we use meditation as a tool to access our inner world, our inner resources, of which peace is the one we're most focused on today. So we're just going to put a visual up right now that's a relaxing picture, which you can look at if you wish during this meditation. I'm going to invite you now to make yourself comfortable. And we're just going to do a little bit of breathing. So if you'd like to, you can close your eyes. I'm just going to lead you through a little visualization meditation exercise now. So I invite you to relax and make yourself comfortable in the seat that you're in. And close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. Or you can just look at the screen. And I just invite you to take a couple deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Couple more. And as you breathe, I invite you to relax your body. Allow your neck to relax, your shoulders to relax, your arms. Breathe into your heart and allow your heart to relax. Imagine a wave of relaxing energy running right from your head, down your arms, into your torso, right down to your feet. And now as you relax, I'd like you to imagine that there's a room inside your head. And I'd like you to enter that room now. And I'd like you to imagine that there's a screen behind your eyes, almost like a big TV screen. And you're seated in this room that's very comfortable for you. And you're seated facing the screen in a very comfortable seat. And so what I'd like you to imagine is I'd like you to imagine this word peace on the screen. See this word now. And as you see this word peace, I'd like you to think about what this word means to you. Peace. Now I invite you to jot down a few words about what this word means to you, peace. So go ahead and write down a few words now about this word. Okay, now I invite you to go back into the room inside your head, back to your comfy seat. And on your screen now, I'd like you to bring to mind an image. What does peace look like to you? Bring to mind an image, maybe a memory where you felt very peaceful, or a symbol. If peace was a picture, what would it look like to you? Bring that picture to mind and see it on your screen. Now take a moment to write about this picture, this image, or draw it. What does peace look like for you? Okay, thank you. Now, I'd like you to remember a time when you felt very peaceful And I'd like you to play that memory like a movie in your mind. See it on the screen. A time when you felt very peaceful. Where were you? What was in your surroundings such that you felt peaceful? What were you doing? Who was with you? See if you can bring that feeling of peace into your body now as you connect to the memory of that experience of peace. See if you can breathe it in and feel it in your body as you replay this memory. Okay, that's beautiful. So now I invite you to take a couple deep breaths and just really soak in this experience of peace. Okay, so keep this peace with you because we're going to talk about sometimes how our lives can look an awful lot like lots of waves and things happening, and let's look at that image now. Sometimes our lives feel a little bit like there's a lot of pounding surf and a lot of waves coming to us. And on the surface level of our lives, we really identify with a lot of roles and responsibilities, and our identity is really caught up in this physical plane of being a body and a man, a woman, a student, all of these roles and responsibilities. And there's a lot of stuff to do and a lot of stuff coming at us here. And there's a lot of things changing at this level of life, which can look a lot like these waves. It's very noisy. There's a lot of things always changing. It can feel very turbulent. And so this is the level of life, kind of the surface level of life that most of us are living in every day, trying to navigate all the change and all the responsibilities that we have in our world. And so it can feel pretty chaotic at times and quite noisy. But if we go a little bit deeper, we will find the peace that exists in us, inside of each of us. There is this beautiful, sweet quality of peace that is there for us, and it exists beneath all the noise in our minds, and it's just always there for us to access if we can go just a little bit deeper. And when we can access this peace, we feel connected, we feel grounded, we feel confident, we feel like we're in flow with life. Everything is moving beautifully, and we feel good about ourselves. We're able to sit in our own self-respect, and we feel the calm, strength, and stability in our lives. And so there's another image for strength and stability, talking about pounding surf, and it's this beautiful lighthouse picture. If there was ever a symbol of strength and resilience, it is this lighthouse, and you can see that there is a big wave coming toward this lighthouse, but it is stable no matter what, no matter how much noise or surf there is outside. Inside, this lighthouse is strong, resilient, a real symbol of strength. What makes it so resilient and strong is its foundation. So I would like to suggest that we could be lighthouses of peace. And if we want to be lighthouses of peace for ourselves and the people who depend on us, we certainly need a strong foundation. Because that's where the power is, that's what makes us stable. And certainly what can help us to have a strong foundation is a meditation practice that we do daily, because that will set our foundation, particularly if we can do it in the morning, really connect to our deep peace first thing in the morning, and then throughout the day, check in and see if we can reconnect to peace when we feel separated from it. So that's a great practice, if you're not already doing so, is a morning meditation practice of peace. So how can we be stable, strong, lighthouses of peace for ourselves and the people who depend on us? That's the question. And so we're going to explore this question now by working with some practices, about 3 different practices that you'll be able to take with you that will help you strengthen your inner foundation of peace. So it is helpful for this next part to have your pen and paper. If you want, actually, you can write this down, or you don't have to. But I'd like to talk about a little bit about identity now and how we define ourselves. And so when you think about how we define ourselves, again, a little bit on the surface level, as we were talking about previously, about the surface level of waves and the surface level of life that we are navigating every day, we play many different roles. We define ourselves as a man or a woman, or a student, or a mother, or a daughter. We identify ourselves by our religious affiliations, if we have any, by what we do for a living. So I just wrote down a couple of different ways that we define ourselves. Sister, nurse, teacher, mother, father, accountant, Canadian, British. There's all of these different ways that we define ourselves and our roles and responsibilities. So as we're living in this surface level of life, things can change in our roles and responsibilities in our work. And so we can get really caught up in these things. And often we will connect our sense of self-esteem, our sense of self-respect to certain results that we're creating in these areas. And when we do that, we become very attached and we feel weakened because we're then judging ourselves as either good or bad, right or wrong, a success or a failure. And so it's really easy to get caught up in these roles and responsibilities and then judge ourselves, and then particularly feel less connected to our self-esteem or value when these things change. So we lose our job, or we get a bad grade in school, or something happens, something changes. And of course, we're all experiencing quite a bit of change at the moment. So we would call this being connected to body consciousness. But in order to build a stronger foundation within ourselves, in order to have the foundation of a strength of a lighthouse, we have to really look at what's at our core. What's at our core here, this star? Who are we really at the core? And what I'd like to suggest is that at the core, we are an eternal, divine consciousness of light energy, what we would call soul consciousness. And at the core, we are really love, peace, authenticity, inner strength, happiness. And so what we have is this amazing, amazing soul of beautiful energy of peace and love. And it's trying to shine out. It's just shining out 24/7. These beautiful vibrations of peace and love and happiness, but we may not always be feeling that because we're caught up in our daily lives. And so we may not always be feeling the eternal souls and those qualities that we are. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like us to do a little exercise, a little experience. We're going to go inside again so that we can kind of relate to this exercise in a little bit more of an experiential way. So we'll have a nice little visual for this, just a little picture as we go inside. And yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So we're going to go inside. So again, I'd like to invite you to relax. Maybe take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I invite you to really relax your body as you make yourself comfortable in the seat that you're in. Beautiful. So allow yourself to relax, but just remain alert to my voice. So I'm going to say a phrase, and I'm going to say this phrase 5 or 6 times, and then I just will invite you to repeat it to yourself. And as you repeat it to yourself, I'd like you to just notice what effect you feel in your body as you hear that phrase. So I'm going to speak 2 phrases. I'll start with the first one now. So I'll repeat it 5 or 6 times first. And the phrase is, I am a body, I have a soul. I am a body, I have a spirit or a soul. I'm a body, I have a soul. I'm a body, I have a spirit or a soul. I am a body, I have a soul. Now I invite you to repeat that phrase to yourself 3 times. And as you do so, notice if you feel any effect of that phrase or that thought, any effect inside of you. Okay, now shake that off, clean the slate, take a breath. And now the second thought or phrase. I am a soul, I have a body. 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 Now I invite you to repeat that to yourself 2 or 3 times and notice if you feel any effect in your body of that thought, how it feels. Now, you may prefer one thought to the other, and either one is okay. And it is helpful to remember when things get crazy in my world, when I feel like there's a lot of surf and waves coming at me, it is helpful to remember that I am not only a body, but an eternal soul, an eternal point of powerful, loving consciousness, of inner strength, of peace, of love, of authenticity. It's important to remember that I can access my inner power through the soul. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little exercise. So we started today by exploring peace and what peace means to us and feeling connected to peace through a memory. And we looked at how to create more stability, how to be a lighthouse of peace through going a little bit deeper, exploring our soul qualities of peace, our inner strengths. And so it's helpful to remember who we are at our core as our first practice. And now I'd like to build a little bit on this practice. And the idea is that throughout the day, we would connect to this feeling of peace. So remember I said earlier, what can be really helpful for us in connecting to being lighthouses and mighthouses of peace every day is to begin our day with a meditation that connects us to that peace, that energy of peace inside of us. And we can certainly do that by remembering a time when we felt really peaceful, by seeing that word peace on the screen, and by really connecting to the energy of that peace. And then throughout the day, when we notice that we've become separated from that peaceful energy, the idea would be to take a little short break, just to breathe, take a couple deep breaths, And as we do so, allow the breath to connect us back to that peace in our soul. And as we do that, it can be helpful to also have an affirmation that connects us to that peace. So when I'm feeling a little bit stressed, a little bit out in the waves during the day, a way to come back is to simply take a few breathing breaks, connect back to the peace. And then I would suggest what is very helpful is an affirmation. And the affirmation is this beautiful visual here. I am a peaceful soul. So throughout the day, I can check in with myself, take little breathing breaks, and give myself this message. I am a peaceful soul. To remind myself that this is my true nature. Beautiful. Okay, I hope this is helpful. I really love this, this visual. Thank you. Okay, so in addition to remembering that we are peaceful souls and reconnecting to that, I'd also like to give you one more practice, one more anchor that you can use to connect to your peace that will help you be a very peaceful lighthouse and mighthouse for yourself and others in the world. And so I'd like to look at these qualities that we have inside of ourselves that are innate to us. Life has never been able to extinguish them because they're part of our DNA. They are part of our spiritual DNA. They are at our core. They are beautiful qualities. Qualities such as love and determination, enthusiasm. Virtues are positive qualities in ourselves that we appreciate. And so, as we consider these qualities, this is the question I'd like you to consider. What are the three innate qualities that you've always had? What are the three innate qualities that you've always had that really support your inner peace? So go ahead and take a moment to think about those and jot them down. These are three innate qualities. They are positive qualities. They're strengths, virtues, attributes. Three innate qualities that have always been true about you that really support your inner peace. Go ahead and jot those down if you haven't already. It might be hard to just pick three because, of course, we have so many innate, powerful, and positive qualities. Okay, now I'd like to offer you a few more to choose from that you can add to your list. And here is some beautiful suggestions from the virtue cards that we have at the center, and have a look at some of these other virtues or qualities. And I'd like you to choose 3 more to add to your list. They could be from these selections, or maybe these qualities will spark other strengths or virtues within you that you'd like to add to your list. So it could be these words or something else similar that reminds you. Could be like empathy, could be there, stability, enthusiasm. So it's a good idea to have a good, robust list of these powerful inner qualities that you have. Okay. So have a look at your list. If you'd like to add 1 or 2 more or refine what you have. And as you review your list, just acknowledge yourself inside for reminding yourself about the qualities and virtues that live inside of you that really support your experience of inner peace. That when you feel connected to these qualities, you also feel strengthened. You also feel more self-respect and connected to your core soul qualities, your core strengths, and how much that supports your inner peace. So it may be a good idea to have these qualities somewhere where you can see them, to remind yourself of your inner power and your ability to support your own peace and an experience of peace daily. Thank you, that's lovely. So I really want to acknowledge everyone for really participating in this peaceful, powerful hour of peace for yourself. We have one more beautiful video of peace that we'd like to leave you with. But before we do that, I'd just like to invite you to go inside one more time and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. I'd just like to remind you of all the ways that you can connect to peace. Remembering what it looks like, what it feels like, that image of peace in the room inside your head, connecting to the feeling and image of that. Remembering that throughout the day, you can take little breaks, little breathing breaks, and connect to that experience of peace when you've become separated from it. And throughout the day, you can use this affirmation, I am a peaceful soul. And in addition, you have all these beautiful qualities that support your peace, that you've written down. And so I'd just like you to imagine now that there's a white light coming in through the top of your head. And that light is a light of peace and loving energy. And it's softening your mind, softening your thinking. Imagine that light now moving into your shoulders, down your arms, and into the area around your heart. With every in-breath, breathing in this light energy of peace. And with every out-breath, letting go and relaxing even more. Imagine this peaceful energy flowing into your belly, softening your belly, softening your hips. That peace is now moving down your legs, into your knees, into your ankles and feet. Your whole lower body now is bathed in a loving energy of peace. I'd like you to imagine now that your entire body is bathed in this white light of peaceful, loving energy. With every in-breath, breathing in this light of peace, calm, serenity. And with every out-breath, relaxing even more into peace. Know that you can enter this cocoon of white light and peace anytime you wish to. Now I invite you to take another deep breath and slowly open your eyes. Come back. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for this 1-hour personal peace retreat. I hope you've enjoyed the content, the exercises, and the practices that we've reviewed today that you may take into your lives and use on a regular basis so you may shine bright as the lighthouses and lighthouses of peace that you are. I'd like to end this session now with a beautiful video of peace. Thank you.